Is the new Mavic 3 worth the difference in price compared to the excellent Air 2S for a professional videographer? Should I upgrade from the Air 2S to the new Mavic 3? These are the questions that I get asked the most these days. In this video I will compare the two models in terms of video quality in different line conditions and different color modes. I will also show all the different extra features offered by the new drone, which might convince some users to go for the more expensive model, regardless of the video quality. I've already made a comparison of the two drones in terms of photography. You can check the link at the end of this video and in the description below. For users interested in videography, the new Mavic 3 offers plenty of very useful extra features. Some of them, for specific uses, could be, in themselves, a good reason to upgrade or choose the more expensive model, regardless of the quality of the footage. The sensor side at 1/3 of an inch is almost double the 1-inch one of the Air 2S. The bigger sensor should translate in better quality in low light and in high dynamic range situations, and contain more info in the shadows. We will check the quality of the footage later on in this video. Video bitrate is a whopping 200 Mbps versus 150 for the Air 2S, which was already a very high value compared to previous models. A higher bitrate means less compression. Therefore, footage shot with the Mavic 3 should be able to stand all sorts of post-processing tortures. The big weak point of the Air 2S is tracking. The lack of lateral sensors made it unsuitable for any kind of sport or action shooting from close range. The new model has only directional sensors and a much improved APAS 5.0 system for obstacle avoidance. I've done a couple of videos about it and tried very hard to crash the Mavic 3, but I did not manage to do it. The Mavic 3 has an announced battery life of 46 minutes, versus 41 for the Air 2S. In real light conditions, the battery of the new model lasts about 38 to 39 minutes, which is about 15 more than Air 2S. This makes a lot of difference when shooting video, and it is a real life changer for hyperlapses. The Mavic 3 has manually adjustable aperture, a very important feature for video and hyperlapses, as in most cases we don't have much latitude for shutter speed values, unlike in photography. The Mavic 3 has more options for slow motion, as it can shoot 5.1K resolution up to 50 frames per second, and 4K at 120 frames per second for extreme slow motion, another very welcome upgrade. There is also the unfinished job, the telephoto lens. At the moment it is not very useful as it doesn't support manual exposure and can shoot video only at 30 frames per second at 4K. It is supposed to be improved in upcoming firmware upgrade. Once completed, it could be a powerful tool for very unusual shots or for close-up views of subjects that we cannot get close to. Finally, the new model has more power, higher wind resistance, and a stronger signal. As you can see, besides video quality, there are a lot of reasons why certain users might want to upgrade or pay the difference in price. In my case, I shoot a lot of footage and hyperlapses, and for me, the much longer battery life and the manual control of aperture are already a reason good enough for upgrading. Normal is the mode to use right out of the box, without any post-processing, meant for users who cannot access a computer or need to post footage immediately on social media. It is an 8-bit mode, therefore able to display 16 million colors, versus over 1 billion colors for the 10-bit modes, D-Log and HLG. Normal mode in the R2S is very pleasant, although it needs a slight increase in contrast and saturation, as right off the camera it looks just a touch flat. In the Mavic 3, normal mode is the sensational Hasselblad natural color solution. The colors are very rich, a thing of beauty. It is a leap forward for drone footage quality. The files respond to post-processing much better than other 8-bit files. Normal is the only mode compatible with the intelligent flight modes, and this is a big advantage. It is the mode that I use most of the time with the Mavic 3, even though with previous drone I use only the 10-bit modes. Both models performs extremely well in low light condition. Noise is very contained, even in very dark situations. The clips I'm showing are without any denoising applied, but the tiny amount of noise can very easily be removed by using Neat Video, the excellent denoising program I use. You can click on the link on screen to watch my video about Neat Video. You will also find all info about this program in the description below. The footage you are watching was shot before sunrise with extremely low light, but I was able to recover plenty of info in the shadows. Excellent performance for both drones. And the colors of the Mavic 3 are breathtaking. When shooting toward the direction of the sun, normal mode in the R2S starts to struggle. Notice the big loss of detail, contrast and saturation in the area closer to the direction of the sun. In high dynamic range situation, the 10-bit modes are the ones to use. The Mavic 3 performs much better against the sun and maintains more info in the colors. Even with the full sun on the frame, there is no flare and the sky has an excellent structure. But to extract more info in the shadows and increase the dynamic range, D-Log is the one to use. In the description below you will find links to the two drones, as well as to the gear I use the most. By purchasing something to these links, I get a small, tiny commission that really helps keep the channel going. The R2S has two 10-bit models, D-Log and HLG. I never particularly liked D-Log in this model, and I find that HLG has nicer colors and more contrast. The performance against the sun is a big improvement compared to previous models of the Mavic line. The new lens managed to prevent nasty flares, and a decent amount of info is retained both in the sky and in the shadows. But shooting towards the sun is still better avoided, unless absolutely needed. In the Mavic 3 at the moment, the only 10-bit mode available is D-Log, while HLG is supposed to be added later on by firmware upgrade. I find that D-Log works quite well, even though it is not easy to obtain colors as engaging as with normal mode. There are other downsides to using D-Log, as it is not compatible with intelligent flight modes, which I like to use in many situations. Also, shooting video in D-Log mode is very unpleasant, as the profile is incredibly flat before color grading. On the screen of my tablet I can only see a big greyish blob, and I have a real hard time composing my shots. I hope something like the enhanced live view of the Mavic 2 Pro will be added soon. But when shooting against the sun, the results obtained with the Mavic 3 in the log are in a totally different league from any other drone of the Mavic line. Even with the full sun on the frame, the structure on the sky is astonishing, and we have a huge amount of info in the shadows without any noise. The Mavic 3 opens new territory for prosumer drone videography. We can finally get results close to a good full-frame camera. Click on this link to watch my video comparison of these two drones in terms of photography. And don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video interesting.